Hey everyone, my name is Christian. Welcome to my hobby blog. Today we are talking about Gabriel Bartolos's Saint Bernard. So I bought this on the Severin halfway to whatever sale, the nuclear sale. Got it really cheap with the limited slip. So it looks to me like it's a Cujo ripoff, but it's not. Initial reactions: I hated this movie. It's probably one of the worst movies of recent times that I've watched. Um, there were no characters to relate to or, you know, be rooting for the entire movie. There were really nothing interesting at all in the movie. Basically, it's basically a movie where someone wanted to recreate the feel of Eraserhead by David Lynch. That like really tense and just anxious feeling you get throughout the entirety of that one time, mixed with the weird visuals and chaos that is Rob Zombie, such as House of a Thousand Corpses, 31, uh, movies like that. And finally, it had a structure that was very similar, shockingly, to Terry Gilliam's Adventures of Baron Munchausen, which is like one of my favorite Terry Gilliam films. And it doesn't do anything well at all like that. The story is basically about a guy who has a knack for um, composing and music, and his name is Bernard. And he finds the head of a Saint Bernard, and he declares himself his name like Saint Bernard. It's a really bizarre movie. It is being weird for the sake of weird. People accuse David Lynch of doing that with like Eraserhead, Lost Highway, Mulholland Drive, and I think all of those are baseless. If you want to see weird for the sake of weird, watch this movie. But I don't even want you to do that. This movie sucked. I hated it. Positives: Warwick Davis was in this movie. He played R2D2. That's all I can say. There's nothing redeeming about this movie. I hated it. But this movie, nothing redeemable. I hated it. It's a 2013 movie, which should have tipped me off, because if there's a movie like this that isn't well known at all, 8 years later, not long after, then that should have been a sign. But one thing to note is that the director was a really famous makeup effects guy for Army of Darkness, for Frank Henenlotter films like Basket Case, Brain Damage, and something else. Frankenhooker, maybe he was on there. So the makeup is great in this movie. That's another positive. So hey, two positives out of the millions of negatives I have. But yeah, that's really all I have to say. I did not like this movie. It was weird for the sake of weird. There was really no story at all. It was a schlubby white guy wandering from one set piece to the other, and he had no character. Nothing was interesting about him. The intro, the first 5 minutes, was like interesting, as we got the behind the scenes of the character and how he like detects rhythm and everything. And when we got the scene where he finds the head of a Saint Bernard, he's like, "My name is Saint Bernard." I was like, okay. That was when I realized, I was like, oh no. So this isn't like gonna be a shitty Italian ripoff of Cujo by Stephen King. The movie's not done by Stephen King, but based on his short story. But like, that's when the dread set in. The music was just awful. It was droning the entire time. I don't know. Like, I can't. This is what I talk about when it comes to Severin. So I have a really hard time getting into that company, because there's gold in them there hills, but there's so much shit gathered in the gold, like this, and it doesn't bode well with this many movies that I have that are Severin. I'm trying to, so yeah, I don't know. I hated this movie. I can't believe I bought this, but I hope you guys like this video. I hope it encourages you not to buy it and not to spend money on this because it's not worth your time. If you want a good, weird movie that has, you know, similar elements, go watch Eraserhead or watch Basket Case. Watch, you know, any of those movies, really, any cult films from the 70s. Watch them. Don't watch a 2013 movie trying to relive the glories of the 70s. Basically all I have to say. So, thank you for watching.